Hey everyone, and welcome back to the famous Cinci podcast. So, today we're back not in person anymore, and
I don't like having good intros, and since I'm back, I'm going to prevent this one from being good.
so yeah, we have
Hang on. I need to say more words than the imposter that was in the last podcast.
No. What do you mean? What do you mean?
There was no Cinci in the last podcast. I'm just going to be honest here. I have no clue who that was. It was
Okay, so we're joined
I have no
today.
clue who that was.
This is just an extended joke. It's just like a meta joke by Cinci,
We are
by the way.
joking.
Don't get fooled.
We are joined today by our hosts, Synactive and Strikewind, and me.
Hello.
And our returning special guest, who was also there last episode, Cinci and Icedcave. What is up?
Yeah, I lost my British accent since last week.
Don't worry,
Yeah.
with practice it comes back.
don't even understand what the joke is.
I don't know what the joke is either.
Nothing funny about that joke. What's funny about just changing the person and then saying it's the same person?
Humor is subjective. It's subjective.
The joke is he's absolutely nothing like me.
Oh my god.
Opposite humor.
What do you mean? Listen, it just depends on what day he wakes up, what side of the bed depends
You know,
on.
I don't think it matters what side of the bed. I think he needs to wake
think-
up in a different bed to be similar.
I think I know what happened. Cinci stepped down from being a mod, as some of you might know, and he was feeling a little off that day, and that mixed with some other stuff.
I stepped down yesterday.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Close enough.
Plus-
Credit where credit's due.
plus minus like 2 weeks. Who cares?
He was thinking about stepping down or something.
Yeah,
That's what
that's
it
what
was.
it was. When
It was
you
in the
think about
back of his
stepping down
mind, but
from mod, you ain't
it
a British
materialized in
accent,
like a Freudian slip. The Freudian
Yeah.
slip was a British accent.
you get a British accent and don't say anything. That's just what happens.
For like the entire
Talk
day.
about
Dude.
that.
Okay, well,
You start
Anyway.
once in the
Talking
intro
about
and never
freaking
again.
Face or something. I don't even know. That guy.
anyway, I'll tell you the real reason since he stepped down from mod. It's because after my account got hacked, I was trying to get my name changed back, and then I asked Cinci, and as soon as I asked Cinci to, since he was a mod and he had like power in the community to get it changed back, he happened to step down, and I think he was trying to avoid getting my name changed back. That's
If you
what-
just
Long
admitted
enough.
taking L's, then you could have had your account back like weeks ago.
But I don't take L's.
Literally,
I-
I was messing with Kook. FYI, I did message someone to try to fix it, but
We can still get
before
your
I stepped
account
down,
back,
before I stepped
Google.
down. But at the time when Google messaged me, I was like, I don't know,
was it.
man. I think that losing your account that day is an L. And he said, but I got it back. That makes that day a W. And I'm like, all right. So if you consider having your account back with unable to get your original name back a W, so be it. And he was like, yes. And so I just left it at that.
Well, anyway,
Takes L's all the time. Dude.
no, I'm a
Can't
walking
believe it.
W.
He
I am
loses
a
every
walking
showdown.
living.
Google, you
W.
lost the last
That's
showdown
a
match
showdown.
against me.
It's a sour grapes mentality.
All right. Well,
Will Kugel beat Death Court Order?
That's a great question.
yeah, that's where I
Yeah.
was trying to get to, but like I
Google
kept
doesn't
getting
like being
interrupted.
bullied.
I'm a way better.
Hey, Google, me and Center back. You're getting bullied again.
So cool.
Oh no, I want British Cinci back.
British
Yeah,
Cinci was much
He was
nicer.
British
nice,
Cincy
didn't
never
he?
insulted
Every
Google.
Yeah, and you talked about math and physics, which is like
He talks about math and physics.
Math
with
Those are two
genuinely
things that I
nice
always talk
people.
about, right? I'm so good at my math and physics.
We all know Cincy as the math and physics guy who's nice to Google. That's
Whenever
basically
there's
his
an
entire
education
personality.
channel in like a Discord server, I always just say I'm too stupid to be here and mute it. So like,
okay. Well, anyway, Icecave. So that question, how would you answer it?
Which question?
we'll
The-
be Death Corridor.
Yeah, will I be
Oh.
the
I thought that was a question towards Kugel. Will you beat Death Quarter? I mean, listen, Kugel. I don't want to be mean, but
Oh,
it's
no.
been
yes,
like
Oh,
yes,
no.
yes.
it's
Come
been
on.
like 4 years.
Yes.
You
Let's
heard
go,
it here
Ice.
first.
Like,
From
listen,
Slaughterhouse
man.
man himself.
Okay.
Listen, all I'm saying is, right, like, I have literally aged. I have gone through puberty by the time, and you have not verified that level. That level's been still not released. Like, please,
it's-
for the love of God, release it. And I'm just saying, you have a timer as well now, because when 2.2 comes out,
You might be.
you know
You
there's
might
gonna
die
be...
someday, and you
Yeah,
probably
no,
won't beat it before then.
if he somehow doesn't verify by 2.2, right? Completely possible. I'm saying Rob updates the game so like 60 hertz physics don't work anymore because everything's 240 step. It's literally going to be physically impossible.
Well, no. It's
It's not going to be
the
physically easy because that's
No.
what 240
Physically
step stuff does to DC.
the step.
Okay.
I mean, frame alignment still works in 2.2 physics. It's
Yeah.
more like 60 hertz physics, as
It's
in
just
like hit
really
like
dumb to align
Yeah,
stuff. And
there's like
2.2 is terrible.
it uses
Yeah.
it uses like 60 hertz physics like with hitbox detection and other stuff. But
Yeah. It's just 60 hertz hit detection and then like 240 FPS or whatever FPS you're running's physics. It's like
That
input.
sounds
It's
like
really bad. It's
RobTop
really
still
awful.
doesn't know how to program.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah,
the most dumb system possible.
it's so annoying too because okay, one of the things I was worried about with Death Quarter is people
You
like
can literally go into walls and then exit them fast enough for it to just be
Okay,
a
actually-
fine clip.
Icecave. I literally told you about this by the way. Remember when you were in the Demon List team and I asked you about like switching FPS?
Oh
mid-attempt?
yeah, I do
Yeah.
remember about that.
Yeah, and like you said, you would bring it to their attention, and now they made a rule actually saying it's allowed to switch FPS mid attempt.
Well,
a
let me
rule,
say this.
by
Let
the
me.
way.
Let me.
Oh, and if I get into it, I'm just gonna rant about the Demon List and how they're like
I know.
biased
Here.
against me right now. But
It's like
But-
a personal vendetta here. Let me explain that as a former Demonless person. So back when you asked me, Kuko, right? I did bring it up actually during a conference, and they were just like, "Yeah, you got a point, but like it kind of doesn't affect the list right now, so that's sort of like something we'll deal with then, right?" And since then, the team has completely changed. Like I don't know.
yeah, and half the team like hates me for no reason, and I'm not even gonna get into that, but yeah. So anyway, so one of my solutions, okay, well the Demon List kind of screwed me over, fine, but what I can do is I can prevent you from switching FPS mid attempt with FPS checks. You know, like
Or I have a great idea, Kuko. Hear me out, right? So you go on 240, and then you make the level hard on 240. I think that would be a great addition to Death Corridor. Please.
I'll have to think about that one. But okay, look, my original idea was like making FPS checks. So if you switch FPS mid attempt, it would kill you. That would work. But because of 2.2 physics, once that comes out, FPS checks won't work anymore because everything's going to be normalized. And yeah, so that's going to like screw over that idea. So I don't really know what to do. But
You should
anyway.
verify it before worrying about FPS check.
anyway, you still didn't answer the question though. You didn't give a
He
yes
did
or
answer
no.
the question. He said no.
No, I'm sorry, Google. Listen, man, 4 years is a long time.
Fine. Okay.
Listen. There's still a little part of me that believes, but jeez, like it's hard to have hope. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be a Google fan.
Look. Fair enough. I'm not blaming you. Okay, and it's 5-6 for me verifying Death Quarter. So because this is a question we ask like every guest, and yeah, so 6 people have said I will do it, and 5 have said I won't.
Who is the sixth?
Hyperbola.
Oh,
Wait,
it
did
can be
the
others.
British Cinci make any statement on
Okay,
this?
so
or-
the
No.
IRL, your IRL friends are saying yes. Okay, fine.
No.
Personal bias.
British, since he didn't like give an opinion on it, he doesn't even know what Death
British
Quarter
since he
is.
didn't talk.
British Cincy isn't a person.
No, he talked about. Did you not listen to the podcast? He talked about the James Webb Telescope.
Oh, that's so
I
so
heard
mean.
that.
I care about that.
Is that a 4-star? That sounds pretty cool.
Since you can you tell me about the James Webb Telescope?
No, because that's
No.
It's
It
a
looks at
telescope.
stars,
You
that's
could
all I
look
got
at-
for you, if it
and
even
it looks
does.
at planets. Okay, big difference. Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
it looks
you're not gonna
outside
do
this world, and then that's all I got. It's a telescope.
that. Pretty much
Well, okay.
Alright, so with IRL friend bias, Google is 6-5 with Verifying Death Corridor.
Not IRL friend by. I mean, I knew Hyperbola before I met him IRL, so it doesn't count. Anyway, that out of the way, let's talk about Slaughterhouse.
Okay. Well, there's a lot to talk about. So what do you
Okay,
want to start
Okay,
with?
okay. I wanted to start off with the thing you told us about that Synactive wasn't here for, which was
Okay.
why. Okay, so why? How did Slaughterhouse get so popular? Because you know the answer to that.
Yeah, I know. I've known this for a while. It's just not like public information, obviously, because like I'm like ooh mysterious online, but like pretty much Slaughterhouse is like ridiculously popular, like view wise. Like it makes absolutely no sense. Like it's been what the video that's been out for 8 months has almost 3 million views, and the verification from 2 months ago has 1 million, which is for GD that's like wow. So pretty much I was talking to some of the friends I had in community that were from other communities, like not the English speaking one. And one of my Russian friends was like, "Oh yeah, like Slaughterhouse is like the biggest level in Russia, like literally ever." And I'm like, "Ah, now that's cool, I guess, but like that can't be a lot, right?" So I ended up checking my audience for the Slaughterhouse video, and I found out on like top geographics. Why does it say top geographies? Whatever. It pretty much says that 46.8% of all almost 3 million views on the Slaughterhouse unnerfed video is Russia. And
Yeah.
the United States isn't even second. Ukraine is popping second with 11%, and then the United States is 6%. It makes no sense, but
How many views
Slaughterhouse
come
is.
from the U.S.?
Hmm?
How many views come from the U.S.?
I remember like this is gonna be hard to say, but to give an idea. Oh no, it says right here actually. Oh my. Okay, 1.3 million have come from Russia. 315,000 have come from Ukraine. United States with only 173,000. And
Why?
Kazakhstan has 124,000. Belarus popping with the 100K. Then like Mexico, Argentina, Peru, Chile,
That's
then
so
Canada.
weird. Like
Yeah, I
literally
thought
every
like
other GD video is either like Spanish or US/Canada.
I have no idea how 30,000 people in Peru found this video and watched it, but
I have a theory about Kazakhstan. All right.
Uh-oh.
So
What?
that sentence.
according to Bo, right, Kazakhstan's like the #1 exporter of potassium, right? And potassium's like in bananas. And you know
Banana,
what?
yeah.
You know what about bananas? They're radioactive, right? What if they
What?
like they've got really like big GD community because they can click really fast because like the
Mutation?
country's radioactive.
Okay.
I don't know.
Maybe they had so much radiation poison they couldn't tell the levels up.
Hey, that's
Wow,
mean.
wow, okay.
That
But
hurt my feelings.
but anyway, like do you know the reason why it became so popular in Russia?
Yeah, actually. Well, mainly, first of all, think about it. Like, when it comes to big GD levels, red, big theme, top one demon, big theme. But the main thing, especially for the Russian people, the song. And oh my god, I know people on Twitter always bash me every single day for using the Slaughterhouse song. And holy shit, I am tired of seeing Thermoxin make fun of the Slaughterhouse song every 2 hours of the day. I am serious. It is so annoying. But the Russian community loves the song so much, and the reason that it got so popular was mainly the song, and it also ended up on Russian TikTok. According to one of my Russian friends, it was like all over Russian TikTok, which is why there's like 8% of the viewers on the Slaughterhouse video are female. I think that's enough proof in itself. I don't think any
That's
further
like the
explanation has
most
to be done.
percentage of female viewers I think anyone in the GD community has.
Literally, like most,
Like
like when we
even
go
Juniper
to,
probably doesn't have 8%.
like here, let me compare with Crystal Edge, okay? It has 300K views, so not as much. Well, we go to analytics. What are your guesses for female ratio? Oh my god,
One.
it's bad.
1 or 0.5.
2.2% are
2.2.
female.
Most of my videos have like 0% female.
Oh my god. Yeah,
I
but
used to have a decent percentage of it in comparison to the average, but nowadays it's just like
Alright, I
Yeah,
gotta
GD
check
is
my analytics.
even more male.
Yeah,
Anyone
and
have
then,
any
Really
theories on why
awkward.
there's such a small female GD community or?
I don't know.
I don't want to get into
No,
Look, I have an
I have a
actual
pretty
what
quick
it
theory,
is.
but I don't want to get into it.
I have a theory, all right? And let me just say this is a personal like
Yo,
experience.
Russia's actually my second like biggest viewer on my channel.
Yeah, because of eggs and innards.
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh yeah, dude, I forgot about innards in the Russian community. It's kind of it's something. So
Yeah.
let me see for what the hell? Yeah, Russia here. This is for my entire channel, the last 28 days. 17.7% are United States and 15.4% is Russia. Literally half my channel was Russian. Yet I don't
Alright.
speak a single word of like that whole language. And where's oh, dude, what? Dude, past 30 days, 8.3% female? What on earth?
All right. Get ready for these. All right. So, in my lifetime, I've had 2.2% female viewers.
Score.
In the last year, I've had 0% female.
Oh my god. Yo.
So in 2021,
Zero.
oh no, 2021, I had 0.1% female viewers.
Well, maybe this
that were
is maybe
aged
this is
35 to 44 apparently. So someone
this
was
is probably
using
a
their
good
mother's
reason to
account.
like quit the mod team, right? Maybe being part of the mod team has got something to do with it.
Dude,
Oh my god.
literally like someone used their mother's account to watch one of my videos.
Dude, I'm gonna sign in. Oh, I actually think, fun
I
fact.
can't even get. I've lost so much attention in Geometry Dash to where I can't even get statistics on male/female anymore. But when I used to be able to, so if I check my lifetime, I actually have 4.9% female. But here's the thing: if I go to last 365 days, it's 99.4% male and 0.7% female.
By the way, the best female GD player is actually pretty good though. She's also Russian.
Huh.
Oh,
She
Just
beat
makes no
she beat Renovant on like
What?
100. Yeah, on 158 FPS, which is like the weirdest.
Oh hell no. Bro, this
Yeah.
sounds like the most hack thing I've heard on
Dude.
No,
planet
it's actually legit. Like her
Well,
record's
yeah, I
on the
know.
list.
I guess that, but just on paper, if you told me
Yeah.
that with absolutely no proof,
I think it's because
No
she
way.
overclocked her monitor or something, and it was like 144. I don't know.
Dude,
But
my
um,
audience also watches Nyron, FNM, Diamond, You Fucking What, and Cursed.
I was gonna say something else if you're finished talking about the Slaughterhouse one, which is that like, so you guys know about like my Minecraft map, right? Randomly, like I think I said it before that it was like mostly foreign viewers. Randomly, like 70% of the viewers of this map is just Portuguese, and I don't know why. It's like completely
What?
random. Like multiple Portuguese YouTubers, famous ones have played it, and then the rest are like Indonesian. So I don't know, like so like there's like 700,000 Portuguese people that just know the name Strikewind, and then like no English people. So
yeah, man, a community is a community. You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, it never really leaves. The foreign language communities are huge and also like closed, I guess. I don't know.
That was this thing with me with when I first got popular, and I believe like very early, very early 2021 when my channel exploded for literally no reason. Like 80% of my subs were Russian, and I'm like, that changed over time. Now we're like 50-50, but it's definitely weird when your community isn't at all like even the same language as you. It feels
You-
like
yeah, that's weird, honestly.
even Sizzy like at some point had majority Russian viewers, but I don't even know why. Because like I mean, at least in Slaughterhouse's case, you know, it's because of like the song or whatever, and some
oh,
3
just the gameplay. It's like Impossible Red Demons.
Yeah, and they like Cockmock is a thing, and it's like the most popular Russian.
That's the most popular Russian level, and it's just we took Slaughterhouse, we gave it a slightly better song, but we made the gameplay like the worst thing on earth, and they love it. They love it so much. It's just whatever.
So,
But
It's
yeah.
actually the reason I didn't make a sequel to. Well, I had a planned sequel to Slaughterhouse, which followed the original theme, like gameplay wise, of Slaughterhouse, like the new one, not the old one,
straight fly.
and yeah, pretty much straight fly and hard wave, right? And they like I remember the dude who made Cockmock was literally like, "Oh, dude, Icedcave is copying me. He copied Cockmock." And all the Russian kids stormed my comment section saying I copied Cockmock.
Wow,
I'm like,
I can't believe you copied him by making a sequel to your own level.
dude, literally when he just stole the rights to my level, so I was just like, okay, well, now I actually made a Slaughterhouse sequel. Like the layout's like pretty much done. I haven't revealed it, and I have like pretty much the same team as the last level, but I'm just sort of sitting on it because I don't know. I kind of don't care. But yeah, Slaughterhouse sequel actually is real. It's
I
not
see.
like public, I guess, till
So
now.
when you
but,
first like
yeah.
got your influx of subscribers in 2021, I'm just curious, were your comment sections mostly English still, or did it actually just have like mixed?
It was very mixed out of nowhere. Like my channel growth was this like it was actually this you'll probably understand why most of my subscribers were Russian when I tell you what video blew up that got my whole channel in the algorithm. So I had uploaded Diamond Blade, like
Oh.
the video for Diamond
Oh.
Blade,
Oh.
and after like 6 months of it just being on my channel with like I think like 800 views, I was barely at 1K subs, and then N Level shouted me out, got me to 1K subs, and then my Diamond Blade video just all of a sudden shot up to like 1.2K. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I wake up the next day, it's at 2,000. I'm like, whoa, that's insane. Next day 3K, then it was 10, and I'm like, what the hell? Then it started going to 20, the 30. I'm like, okay, it's gonna stop, right? And it just kept on going and kept on going. Now it's at like 200K, but it kept on growing. So I was like, oh my god! And I got to 2K subs. I'm like, Jesus! And obviously, since Diamond Blade, the Russian community loved it, and then YouTube just took my whole channel. I was like, yeah, you know what? Put in the algorithm. So then all of my videos had that exact same growth, where they would just double in views overnight and just keep on going. And it was like completely crazy. And since like my style of gameplay and levels are very out there to say the least, Russian community it loves it, which is why like some of my Russian friends are like, oh yeah, like one of the biggest creators in the Russian community is like you, and I'm not even Russian. Like they just love the things I make, which is
And you weren't even like aware of it for most of the time until like you
oh
were.
no. Until like Slaughterhouse blew up, I looked at my analytics. I'm like, what? Half of you are Russians still? I thought that went away, but no, like they're still all Russian. And I mean, hey, I'm not complaining at all. Like, it's cool. People like my stuff. I don't really, I don't care really where you're from. But it just kind of, it definitely is weird when most of your fans aren't from the same place as you. But that's sort of what happens when you make videos with no voice or anything. It's just
Yeah.
I guess it's true. Yeah, if they're not talking, they don't really. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Like,
I did make a
GD
video.
GD is the universal language.
I made a video when I was announcing the new verification of Slaughterhouse, which I thought would take forever, and literally got verified like a week later. It's just simply titled Slaughterhouse Verification News, has 82,000 views, and half of the comments are just Russian kids Google translating like, I don't know what he said, but I am happy. And that's when I realized like, okay. It's funny, but I love it. Like, let me see actually real fast.
What I find interesting is like, what's with N level shouting out people and then getting them to 1,000 subs? Because that's what happened to me in 2017, 2018.
Well,
I don't know.
What happened to
I was
NCAT?
cool with him. Oh yeah, also
I'm cool.
I
I'm cool with N level. I don't know.
I checked that video, the Slaughterhouse verification news, which is like literally the video is me talking for like 2 minutes about the level. 24% of the views are Russian, and that's the top. United States is only 20%. So
I
more
remember-
Russian people watch the video than anyone else, and they didn't even understand the language.
I remember Icedcave coming back from the grave, and he tried, and he switched whether he was like legit / not legit. He toggled the switch, and he made this level called like sorry or something that was like this weird 9 circles.
Yeah. I got rid of that video, by the way. That was legit. What do you mean I didn't hack that?
No, you toggled the switch because before you were hacking.
No, not really. Okay, let me let me explain my
Before
history
you
with
were
hacking.
and then you
Let me-
decided I'm not gonna hack this one.
Okay, let me tell you the history of me and hacking because my history is impossible level creator, right? Like
Yeah.
which was by the way, my like GD I guess career as a creator has been so weird because one of my first ever levels was original Slaughterhouse, which got like 400K views, and that's not normal for like the 5th level you've ever made.
Yeah.
Like it was I think it was my 3rd full length level was literally Slaughterhouse.
Old
So,
Slaughterhouse?
Yeah, old
Slaughterhouse,
Slaughterhouse.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which is like for your 3rd full length
It's
level
very,
is
very-
kind of ridiculous. So my like whole career has been really weird, but pretty much I was so used to impossible stuff and hacking and all this and that, and I knew all about that stuff, especially since my entire friend group back then was Silent Engine, which was just a group of just impossible level creators like Chaotic Jumper, Salient, like all the people that you remember from old impossible levels were a part of Silent Engine. So I was just surrounded by that and Team Hacks members. So I wasn't really the most legit individual when it came to actual GD. A lot of no, not a lot. Practically all of my stats were hacked at the time. I actually at one point attempted to pull like Anubis or Nubas, however you pronounce his name, and I like hacked like 40% on ICDX. But this was also back when I had like 10 subscribers, because even when I blew up from original Slaughterhouse, I never made a YouTube channel. Like I had my personal school one, and that was it. So I actually never got famous off of my original stuff, which, oh my god, am I happy? If I had gained like, I remember Chaotic Jumper got like 4,000 subs or whatever off Death Corridor, and then just nothing ever happened from there. I'm very glad that that never happened with me. I just never had any of the people from back then on my channel because I didn't have one. But yeah, I actually ended up just, I was a hacker and would upload impossible levels. Then something in my brain just went like, nah, I ain't doing this shit no more. It was pretty much just when NoClip got introduced, impossible levels got really boring and bland because any 10-year-old was able to make one now. Not just me, the 10-year-old, any 10-year-old. So impossible levels.
You're a special 10-year-old.
I was,
You were a
to be
special
fair,
penny.
a 10-year-old making Slaughterhouse is kind of, I was messed up. Okay, that's not okay. If my parents saw that, they probably asked me like, "Yo, you good?" But yeah, they became super bland and just the same thing over and over because when I started making them, obviously there was no clip, and I did demonstrate this in a Stormfly video how we used to verify impossible levels back when there was no clip. You couldn't speed hack them, obviously. But once NoClip came out and or Instant Complete, it was just game over for impossible levels, and I just stopped enjoying them. And I left Silent Engine and all this and that. And that's when my career started to become like, I want to be an actual creator who makes actual levels. And
see.
the last thing I'll say about that is, fun fact, the oldest post that I have ever is on an account where I was in that mindset 6 years ago. I posted on the account SSOH, why make levels if you can't beat them? And 6 years later, I'm kind of doing that. So, yeah, I learned.
Fair enough.
I have a weird question for you.
Mm-hmm. What is your weird question?
Okay, do you first of all, here's a relatively normal question. Do you prefer creating or playing? Like,
Ooh, that's a difficult one. It really depends because for me, usually this would be like a very just like, oh, this or that, right? But for me, as a creator, I've always been so weird with creating. The only times I really create is like, I don't usually create just because like normal creators do that, just open the editor and just start building. I'm always like on a mission to like express myself or however I feel. And all my levels have like a certain connection to me or whatever part of my life I'm in, which is very weird for Geometry Dash. Usually people do that stuff, through music. But
yeah. I also want
10-year-old
to
me
bring
is
up
like
stuff
that.
like SSOH and love and like all these like weird words that get repeated in Icedcave
Oh
levels.
yeah, like my sort of like themes, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's obviously a part of it. I know a lot of people sort of interpret it as just like, I don't know, like, oh, edgy random, you know what I
Edgy
mean? Like
text,
old
but
Korean text or whatever, stuff like that. That's just sort of thrown around, but that's not really the case. Which is why I often say, but then retract publicly, that I feel like I'm extremely misunderstood as a creator because people don't get that I'm not just like edgy 5-year-old who's like mad at like, I don't know, his mom for taking away his video game. Like that's not me. Like I'm an 18-year-old. Like I have a
Mom
life.
took away my Game Boy, so I made Slaughterhouse.
Oh, yeah, like that's not what it is. Like I get it. I can't deny. Am I fundamentally edgy? Absolutely. There's no denying that. But it's not surface level. It's like there's actually meaning behind it. And for you, Synactive, like the whole I think Synactive asked or I
yeah,
forget.
it's an active.
Yeah. About
Sign
why.
active.
Listen, don't bully me about that. Okay, but pretty much again, since I have a sort of personal connection to all my levels, and I sort of like depends on what's going on, depends on what I make. I think Final Destination is the most obvious version of that, depending on well, the whole theme and all the text at the end, the description of the video, all that sort of stuff sort of gives away like what's going on, I guess, like not like beyond surface level, which is why like I use like the term love a lot and all stuff like that because they're all subjects that like I struggle with as a person. So I don't know why my brain's just like, I don't know, express this not with words or music like normal people do. Let's put this in a GD level because I don't know
this
how
makes a
else.
lot of sense. I think it's
Wait,
really
do you think that the
I
give
respect
up
it.
do you think that the give up text in Final Destination makes the level harder by subconsciously making you think of giving up?
Honestly, maybe for some,
Yeah,
for
I think
me,
for some
as, like-
people, I think for some people it might actually.
For some people, yeah, that was obviously that was the intention of the text, was sort of to be like a bit of a mockery.
It's a buff.
A bit of like, you're not doing this. And back when I made Final Destination like 2019, and like just doing 71 to 100 was like a top 5 challenge. Final Destination was like completely impossible. So the give up text was very warranted. But for me, like,
Yeah.
since I put it there, like, that just means nothing to me now.
Yeah.
I
Fair
think it'd be
enough.
interesting, like, what if you just made a level to where every time you died, some text pops up that just mocks you for dying, and seeing if it makes people more angry at the level?
Pretty sure there are levels like that.
That just-
That exists.
Like, every time you die, there's some, like, randomized text that pops up to mock you about how you died.
That's terrible.
Yeah. By the way, sort of on the topic of
Wait,
your
wait, wait.
levels.
We have to ask, does that mean that Icedcave likes playing or creating one?
Oh yeah, that was the actual question. Wow, good on me. Again, if I'm like going through something and want to express myself somehow, then I'm often creating, because I just use it as a form to express myself. Since I didn't get into drawing as a kid, even though I wanted to, I didn't get into music, so all I have is really the level editor. As stupid as that may sound, but generally, I tend to create more than play, mainly because playing has sort of become like, I used to be good. That's usually what I say. I used to be good. But most times I'm creating. So
Yeah.
I would
But
say
it like
a little bit
depends
more
on your
creating.
mood, I guess.
Oh, for sure. Like if depending on what's going on in my life, literally depends how much I create. There's some times where like I will literally not touch the editor for a month, and there's times where I'll be in the editor like every single day. It's very random.
I
Okay.
have
not-
a
Okay.
follow-up then,
On
which
the
is
on the.
weird question.
Wait, what?
I have a follow-up then, which is the weird question. Okay.
Okay.
Would you rather be the best player by far or the best creator by far?
Oh, creator for sure. Because as much as like I have constantly like sort of with how I've been with pushing the boundaries of what's like possible in this game, I've always been fascinated with like the skill ceiling and how hard can this game truly get. I've always been the guy making the challenges ever since I was like literally 10.
Okay. Yeah. This
Yeah.
is actually a perfect segue into what I was about to say when Senecta interrupted me, which was, um, do you think that like the main people nowadays that are pushing the skill ceiling are hackers or former hackers, or people related to hacking, like Exen with Abyss of Darkness, or Sakupin Circles, or you with your levels? Like, I feel like all the recent top levels that are getting beaten, that are pushing the player skill ceiling,
Hmm.
are former impossible levels or levels verified by hackers, and like actual top players are just sort of being really stagnant, and like, oh, they beat the top one, well, now I'm just gonna beat like everything below it or something. But
Yeah.
they never try to like pioneer difficulty or anything, and I find that kind of boring. But
Yeah, that's literally like why I've been the way I've been, cuz like I've been around for an extremely long time. I think I'm close to playing this game for 7 years or something like that. And like I remember 1.9 and stuff, and the best example I can give, truly, as someone who was there for the Bloodbath verification, Bloodbath was like not just a hype thing for those involved. Bloodbath was literally a community-wide thing. Like everyone knew about it, everyone was so hyped for it to come out. Like it was a huge thing that sort of everyone was on and knew about and was super hyped for. Nowadays, people like we get a new top 1 and people just complain. Like
yeah,
the mentality is a lot different than what it used to be, which is why like I don't see also as well top players aren't very passionate about the game, I'd say. Like for example, people like Trustar or Riot sort of had personality and character behind their completions and stuff like this and that. And nowadays, as much as I don't want to like even say anything bad about top players, but it's just like they beat levels to beat levels, and there's
yeah.
really nothing else besides
This
that.
I think that is what I mean when I say I find top players nowadays really boring. Like, they all just seem the same to me, which is just like list grinders, and oh, who can beat this top level in the least amount of attempts. And I don't know, like, I sort of miss the old
I
top
think-
players.
I don't know if it's as much the player's fault as it's actually more, because like back in like Trusta and Riot, their top projects, there was no one else competing. Those
Yeah,
were
no,
the
they
number
were
one demons, and
uncontested.
they were like the big project that the community was waiting for. Like there was, we're
Yeah,
now
there
number
hasn't
one.
been anything like
Yeah,
that.
well, yeah, because right now, number ones are just popping out every so often. Like we had the triple rate that happened a few months ago, and Nasty Circles is rated recently. Like, it's just so quickly, one after the other. Where like Bloodbath, and it was like quite a bit after. Yatagarasi was quite a bit after. Tartarus was like quite a bit after. Like past that point, it's kind of just been one after the other. So it's lost what made it special.
Yeah, because
I mean, also, I'd say that the quality of top levels is a little different than it used to be because of the people making.
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Like one thing I want to complain. Well, this is something I will complain about, and I feel like you guys can at least sort of agree is, back in like 1.9, 2.0, and even early 2.1, top demons weren't really like, yeah, they were cool and everyone sort of knew about it, but it wasn't something that people deliberately tried to make just for the sake of making it and for the attention and the title of it. Like nobody woke up one day and is like, oh, I'm gonna make like the new hardest demon in the game, you know? Like no one did that back then. Nowadays, like you can find a million top one layouts
Yeah,
that never
and
get
like none of them get even decorated, let alone verified.
exactly. Like there's no, it sort of gets to a point where they're no longer special simply because there's way too many, which is why I also feel like players are sort of going back to old impossible levels and stuff because those levels have character. No, especially a lot of history as well, which just top demons nowadays sort of like don't really have. There's some exceptions, obviously. If Limbo's like number one, for example, that's a great, great
Yeah.
idea, great level.
Yeah.
But think of like, I don't know. Even though I love Zodiac, think of like Zodiac, like
Yeah,
in comparison to levels like Bloodbath and stuff or
Zodiac
Gurgiana.
seems like some random generic extreme demon that happened to be top one. Like when I first saw Zodiac, I unironically thought it was just some random mega collab, and I didn't even realize it was top one until I came back into the community in 2020.
Oh, and
It
the
was
funniest thing about Zodiac is it's actually one of my favorite levels to play because it's actually like
oh yeah,
fun.
it's so
Well,
fun.
that's what
I
I was
so
gonna mention.
fun.
That's what I
love
mentioned.
Zodiac. Oh my God,
Zodiac
I
gets
love
a pass range because apparently it's really fun for its
it is fun.
Exactly. That's what
Sinactive like disagrees with me or something because he's dumb, but it's honestly so fun.
I don't like it because it's too long, personally.
Because
that
Yeah,
okay,
that's
that is
fair. That's
fair. The balancing sort of becomes horrendous when you play from zero.
I think
exactly.
my main
I
issue
don't like that it's so long.
my main issue is which could be fixed if you like replace the first and last part, is that the first two parts are like free, so you're passing them every attempt, and every attempt is like boring, and then the end is really chokeable, which is annoying. But if you like swap the first and last part, I think it would like literally be as perfect as you could get for a level that long. In
You
my
know, it's just a
opinion.
balancing sucks.
Hypothetically, yeah. I think it would be a lot better
It's
if you
just-
somehow
I
magically
kind of want
switched
to bring up this, just kind of balancing in general. Ice, do you think that levels that are perfectly balanced the full way through are better, or do you like spikes in
No.
difficulty?
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Spike's
let
way better.
me, as someone who partakes in the wackiest and weirdest gameplay on planet Earth, obviously balancing is something that I think about constantly. Because although like my levels seem extremely chaotic and not very thought through, I like playtest the shit out of my levels. Like everything that I do in a level, especially like great examples are Icedcave Last Wave being insane for absolutely no reason. I did that full well knowing, oh, this is gonna make the level really chokeable and really bad at the end. But I do it on purpose because here's the thing. A level that's perfectly balanced, although yes, more fun to play, is a lot less interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't even think it's more fun to play, by the way. But I agree with what you say. Like thinking space, one of the main reasons that it's so like famous
So
is because
interesting. It's so
yeah,
weird.
because of the way it's balanced, or
It's
like
yeah, it makes the level thinking space as a whole makes literally zero sense, and that's why I love it. But like also good example of like
you
levels
flash
balancing.
cards if you want to make something cool.
I think. By the way, I think that's part of what made Death Corridor so cool to a lot of people, including me, was the balancing, because it made the hardest parts, which were the mini wave and mini ship, stick out. Right, like
Oh yeah,
like
that's what you need in levels, or else it's just
exactly.
sort of
Like
boring.
you need like sort of signature parts.
Yeah,
Or,
that about to say.
Exactly,
Yeah,
A
exactly.
great
yeah.
example
I think-
of that.
I think you can go
is-
overboard though as well. Like I think you can go
Oh, yeah,
where
for
it's too hard, and then it's all of a sudden
Yeah.
just
Oh,
every
yeah.
attempt you're dying there. But I do think that you need some parts that are harder than others. That's why it's like, oh, he passed this part. Okay, go. Like it's kind of like
This
a
this
lot
is
more.
Yeah.
This is like true to most things though. Even
Yeah.
like movies, they follow specific curves. Like
Yeah.
you can see curves for different movies like Star Wars and stuff where you start off like with a cold open which is like intense, and then you get like the intro which is cold, like or not cold, like slow. Then like you start building up, and then like there's like several mini climaxes until the last big
Yeah,
climax.
yeah.
It goes up and down,
Exactly.
down, right?
Like
Because it's like if it's too much constant action, you basically have like no reference points. You
Yeah.
basically are just like lost, right?
Like tension
just
and
zone out.
and climax are made a lot better if there's like contrast. If you have like a slow part with like a calm tone and then like a really intense part right after.
You know what
That
I've noticed, and I started like doing a lot when speaking. I mean, I think like some teacher was telling me like that I was doing this. That when I like notice that people are not like paying attention to me, I will like pause, like I will like stop talking dramatically or something. Like basically, yeah, this is what happens when like lectures and stuff like they just keep droning on and on and on, right? They need to stop dramatically. They need to like be different.
Yeah.
Like you will just zone out if it's the same thing again and
yeah.
again.
Well, I think it's important to have like difficulty curves and levels back to that part, but I think it needs to feel consistent. I think if it just
Oh,
feels
yeah.
inconsistent, it's garbage and it's terrible. But like if it feels consistent but definitely harder, it's a lot more important because dying in different spots every time you play a level also sucks. It's
Yeah,
we
exactly.
can't we can't
if the
decide.
if the difficulty is distributed like perfectly, it's really annoying too because there's not like any break parts
Yeah,
and like,
yeah.
you could die at any moment and I don't know. I just find it a lot more fun when there's like specific balancing in a level. There are ways to balance levels which are way worse than a perfectly balanced levels, but I also think there are ways to balance them where they're actually much better, like more fun to play than a perfectly balanced level.
I've seen
Yeah.
puzzle games where it seemed like the levels were out of order, and I was thinking like, why is this happening?
Oh,
And I was
yeah.
realizing that these are like kind of mini boss levels in the between like casual levels. So like the levels get harder, and then the levels get easier to give you like a break. Maybe as like motivation, like because then it would be too like demotivating. Like you can't do this level, and then you can't do the next one, and it's like
That's
Or
why
like
all my levels have breaks, by the way. Literally,
like
all of them have a break.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
part of why I like Zodiac so much, by the way, because there's so many break parts, and it makes it so like another thing. It's like okay, let's say you finally passed a really hard part, and you have a break part for a while. Instead of like progressing by like 1%, you'll progress by like 10%, and it'll be even more satisfying.
Yeah.
Like I have great examples for like some of this stuff. I'll give fast. Like a good example of a level that has absolutely awful balancing is Sack Up in Circles. Yes, I know it's an
Yeah,
old impossible level, but when
Yeah.
you have the first 38%, literally a toddler
It's
can
the
do.
most unintentionally balanced.
Yeah, obviously, like it's an impossible level. I'm not like Nick24 made this back in like 2015. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna hold him accountable, but just as an example, you shouldn't have the first 38% of your level be a toddler can do, and then that to like 70 is literally impossible.
New
It makes
innards.
but Zodiac is like I'd say decent because Zodiac as someone like I do have TMN to 100 like I've played a lot of the level. The level's very like it's very good and iconic because for example for people that play Zodiac if I say TMN like TMN's part everyone's like oh yeah TMN's part huge choke point passing TMN is a huge thing from 0 like it gives a character. But the only thing that's bad about Zodiac is the fact that the first choke points and stuff start at around like shock, which I believe is like 40 or something, which is just you have to wait like a minute of gameplay to get to any of the hard parts. And once you get consistent at it enough, you don't want to be waiting a minute until you actually have to play the level. That's sort of like it's tolerable but not great. And then levels that I'd say even though Slaughterhouse isn't great, Slaughterhouse's balancing makes it at least exciting. Where first 25% is hard and you'll never really get consistent at it. Huge spike followed by a break, another huge spike followed by a break, and then a last huge spike. Like I
I,
think that's at least interesting.
I think if you're gonna balance a level, balancing it so that the start, like the most inconsistent part, is at the start is probably the best way to do it too. Because if it's at the end or in the middle, you'll be getting there every attempt, and then every time you get there, you're just gonna die. But if
I
you
disagree.
no, but if you die like five
For the
times,
hardest part to
if you
get
die,
around like
if you
60.
die 5 times in a row from 0, you're not gonna notice. But if you like get to like
when the hardest parts are the beginning though, and you don't get anywhere, it becomes really easy.
Oh,
just
no,
hatred.
I don't mean by like
He doesn't mean like first 5%.
yeah, obviously in like any case if you go like extreme it's going to be bad, but I mean in general if like they're close enough in difficulty still like each section, but the most inconsistent part is at the start. That's the best place to put it.
Yeah, in terms of consistency, you don't really need to be as consistent in the start.
I'm
Oh,
not
yeah.
talking about like
Yeah.
reverse thinking space balancing, where like
Yeah, reverse thinking space.
you spend like a year trying to pass the start, and you finally pass it, and then you like die at a dumb spot.
That
'cause of
reminds me
nerves
of
or
this.
something.
There was this like 1.9 level in the 1.9 GDPS called Killbot, and it was so bad. It like had this like first ball that was like so annoying and like spammy, and then like the rest of the level was like literally free. I made it to 30%. I think like 5 times, and I beat the level. I actually think
long.
I might have done it in like almost one attempt from the first time I made it to 30%. It was so bad.
Fun fact,
It was
the
like
1.9
I
PSA.
barely played it. It was like a sight read basically.
What kind of funny for me is like back when I was actually playing stuff that was hard, like Unnerfed Innards 2 years ago. I purposely kept the slow wave the way it was because I just liked the feeling of when you passed it. Like that feeling of passing it was just so satisfying. I loved it. I think my biggest problem was when I made the beginning when I made it. I feel like if I just didn't do what I did to the very beginning cube jumps, it would have been much more enjoyable experience. Because you just heard the most calm, easy, nice toned song over and over while doing frame perfect jumps. It's so bad.
The new, like, as I played both innards actually, like I used to be like super into unnerfed innards when that
Yeah.
was a thing,
Yeah.
and I played both versions, and my god, hearing the little dun dun,
Yeah.
it's the hardest jumps on planet Earth was the most infuriating thing ever.
I know. I really wish that I would have just been like, dude, fucking keep the first one because it's funny, but just nerf the other one. Just let you get to the ship. Like this
And then,
sucks.
You know the rated innards now.
Well, yeah,
I think
that
it's like
was.
I think it's all right, but the one thing that I never finished the level. I have a huge problem by the way with finishing levels as a player. But with innards, I think I have like 80 or something. And the reason I dropped it was literally because every single attempt was so boring because I
Yeah.
sat there, listened to the little melody, got to the red part, instantly died, and had to wait another 10
Yeah.
minutes of hearing baby music.
It-
And I'm like, dude, I'd rather do anything else with my time.
Yeah, that nerf, I call that the angry nerf.
Fly,
I,
of course.
I call that the angry nerf, which was every part that pissed me off the most got nerfed way harder than every other part, and it's very obvious. Like that cube is free. Like it's not even.
Yeah,
debatable.
the
It's
cube.
free.
Yeah, it's
Because
you
it
fall
pissed me
asleep.
off the most in the unnerfed version.
Yeah, no, it's understandable, especially with your history with the level. I don't.
It's just
blame
funny
you.
because the drop actually like is the hardest part in the new version, but it's probably the easiest part in the unnerfed because like the drop didn't bother me as much, so it didn't get nerfed as hard. So it's kind of funny. I call it an angry nerf, which obviously if I were to redo it, I would just have someone else nerf it for me because I would bias beyond belief against it. But like,
I'm
yeah,
glad I
that
didn't.
was-
That's an active do it.
I could have, yeah. No, like there's a lot of things I would have redone. Like there's, woulda, shoulda, coulda, right?
It is what it is.
Yeah.
But that's why, like, as someone who gets a lot of other people to verify their levels because they're way too hard for my little baby brain,
Mhm.
I constantly, like, I tell them, like, listen, you're free to make changes, but you have to check in with me first. And I always, like, I don't let them, like, get angry or nerf apart. And I only give them approval for certain nerfs because I want the level to be structured
Like,
a
To
specific way.
feel a certain way. I get you.
Because that's sort of something I factor in when it comes to, like, I know some people say my levels have charm or whatever. I feel
The
like it's,
feeling of levels is super important in my opinion.
yeah, like I a
Presentation.
level being balanced or unbalanced does affect the feeling you get when you're watching or playing it. So I'm just like, I'm not gonna make this into like a Zodiac, which I'm not sure if you guys ever knew about the unnerfed and then the other version and then the Xander version. Their balancing is literally just completely 3 different levels. The balancing makes no sense throughout all 3 of the versions, like at all. They make no sense. Like TMN unnerfed was actually just physically impossible, for example, and other parts were just literal falls.
Like a portal that goes to the sky for no reason. It doesn't
Yeah,
even make
Fun
sense.
fact: did you know TMN didn't even make that damn gameplay? It was some random dude named Joey Plays, and I still think that's the funniest thing on earth.
I know Joey.
Joey made that damn gameplay.
Wait,
He's the guy-
Joey made that?
Joey made that. I
No,
remember. his comic.
Joey's someone I've known
Joey
for a
plays suck that
long,
much.
Yeah, ask him
long
because
time.
In TMN's description, Atomic's the guy who showed me this because he was beating Zodiac before he had to do school. He went to TMN's video just out of curiosity. He's like, "Wait a second, who the hell is Joey Plays? He made the gameplay because TMN said the gameplay was by Joey Plays. I find it hilarious that TMN's part, one of the most iconic parts in Zodiac, is the gameplay of fucking Joey Plays.
Honestly, I am just surprised Joey Plays finished gameplay. Joey Plays is he's actually in Squad.
Well, I know Joey Plays because he was in Darkest Dimension.
Yeah, he's in
which is
Squad.
like-
But anyway, there's a Squad collab that was made that completely died because Joey didn't ever finish his gameplay.
God damn it, Joey.
Like, he had to do one thing, and he's like, I'll do it. And like 3 months later, it never got done. We're like, all right, we all lost interest.
Oh my god. That's
I love
terrible.
Joey. I love Joey. But yeah, that's really, I didn't know he did that. That's
Crazy.
crazy.
I mean, I'll double check because I don't want to be wrong on the podcast, but I remember hearing that, and that like haunted me. That haunted my dreams. Like, God, anytime I died there when I was playing the level, because people would be like, "Oh, TMN's part suck." I'm like, "Nah, Joey Plays."
Joey Plays.
Menace of GT.
Joey,
Here
I know he went to go make music.
Well, just be happy
Oh,
he didn't make the gameplay, Cinci, because his part.
Well, to be fair, we had LJ's gameplay, so you know what? I mean, it was not gonna go well. Like, we had
There.
like, it would have been a race
Oh,
between
wait,
him and
this is the
LJ,
part
who
that
made
had to, like,
part more
soundtrack?
annoying.
Okay.
Was his the part that was known for making good gameplay?
LJ, no.
1,000 subs video?
No.
Okay,
That was the Acer collab, which I should look and see through screen. No, that group's dead. Never mind. But there was like some point where, yeah, Acer's part was beyond impossible. Like, to this day, be still impossible because he, you know.
He puts orbs in the silent club. In the club step ship, and then like makes it impossible. Just in the
Imagine
club.
Imagine OP straight fly, except with like yellow orbs in the middle you have to avoid. That's like what he was making.
Okay. Icedcave, I got a
Yeah.
question for you.
What do you think
What
the
do you
skill
think of-
cap is?
No. What do you think of cheddar cheese?
Oh.
No, we're not doing this. Dude.
No! What do you think of cheddar cheese?
No, your question.
Dude.
You gotta tell me.
Listen, oh my god, this is gonna be such a controversial take about cheddar cheese.
Yeah. You hate it?
It's mid. I hate. I'm sorry, cheese fans
Oh.
out there. I'm sorry. but
Dude,
it's
what
mid.
the heck?
What about
Mid?
Parmesan?
Dude, I don't like cheddar
Parmesan?
cheese. Okay, I don't like it.
Dude, parm? It's weird. I don't know how cheese tastes like that. I know people are just like, "What are you talking about?" Dude, my taste buds are built different.
I'm gonna be honest.
Mozzarella. What about mozzarella?
I like all
Yeah,
cheese
mozzarella's
except
alright.
cheddar. Fight me.
What'd you say?
Mozzarella's alright. Cool.
What's your favorite cheese? Do you even like cheese?
Honestly, I'm not the biggest cheese person. I know.
Like, all
talking
these
a
are
lot
like
of talk.
mid tier or bad. Like,
Okay, because here's the thing, right?
Gouda is top.
I hate to say it, but cheese is just—it's not like, oh, I sit down and eat cheese. You know what I mean? I'm not a cheese
yeah, I
connoisseur.
agree. I
And
think it
that
needs
is-
to be
But,
like.
like-
Wait, you
crackers.
literally said you were before the podcast. You said
That's
you were.
Literally
no,
called
no
yourself a
picture, no proof. All I have to say.
Okay.
Also, I did go and confirm. I'll send the screenshot in the group. But yep, gameplay by Joey Plays on TMN Gaming.
Oh wow.
That's
Also-
crazy. Huh.
What does
I did not know that. Okay. Anyway,
I'm
Kanye West
surprised he
like?
finised something. I just that's the craziest part for me is that he actually finished gameplay and it got put into a level. That just never happens for that guy.
Okay. Okay.
I have to
Synactive's
bring up
dumb.
one
No, Synactive,
more
stop it.
thing.
Literally stop
I'm
it.
more
You're
thing.
shushing him.
No
I
one wants to
feel
talk
like
about
it's-
cheese, Synactive. No one wants to listen about
My
cheese.
dad likes blue cheese.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, anyway.
I like blue cheese.
I have
Cottage
to
cheese
bring it
also
to
is
me.
gross.
Well, no, blue cheese is fine with like wings or whatever.
Blue
Cottage
cheese is
cheese
good.
bad. Can we agree
Look,
cottage cheese is gross?
Blue cheese is good. Cheddar is bad. Every
Bro,
other
blue
cheese is good.
literally tastes like someone put the cheese in a goddamn bonfire, froze it really fast, put it in a dishwasher, mix it with diaper, and then you get goat cheese. The texture makes no sense. I don't understand
You
what
should,
you're
you should tell us the story of pluralized.
No.
Oh no, I don't. Dude, okay, this is a lot to unpack if you're gonna start this discussion.
What
This
is
is actually
pluralized
good
thing?
context to answer a question I get often, extremely often. Oh wow, that was not good wording. Anyways, so you know how I'm like Icedcave OG, right? Many people will, Icecave, but Icecave OG is sort of, it's been my GD account name. It's all of my levels say Icecave OG. Even after my name change, I'm still gonna go by Icecave OG in collabs and stuff. That only spawned from one dude, which I'll refer to as his original name because I want him to feel bad about it. The Noodle. This dude, the Noodle, or the Pool Noodle, he ruined my life when I was like 12. Because back in the day, right, I had the Ice Cave name, I made Slaughterhouse, life was good, I was chilling. Then all of a sudden, right, what happened was, this was 12-year-old me, keep in mind. I plan on taking a huge break from the game, and since I was really close with people in Silent Engine like Chaotic Jumper and stuff, it wasn't too uncommon actually for people in Silent Engine to just sort of drop their account password. Be like, I'm taking a break. If you guys want to like do something on here, you can. Like that was not like out of the question. I remember Salient gave me his password at one point. Like it was just I don't question it. We don't know. But I ended up doing the same in the Silent Engine group chat. I just said, like, hey, I'm taking a break. Here's my password. And some dude leaked it. To this day, I don't know, because this wasn't the public. There was a public one with like hundreds of people. This was the private with like 10 people, maybe. Someone leaked it, and they got into my account. They changed my name to Kitty of Chaos. I was put at like number 2 on the leaderboards for a couple hours, and I got instantly banned, obviously. And they were trying to impersonate me. And I was like, okay, I was on vacation at the time. So I asked the Chaotic Neko, the guy who made Theory of Silent or Silent,
Yeah.
I forget.
Yeah.
I asked him because he was still logged into my account. I'm like, dude, can you just delete literally all of my levels so this dude doesn't impersonate me? And he did exactly what I asked, which not the smartest thing, but I was 12. Which is why all of my levels, like old Slaughterhouse, everything like that, all the IDs are not the same from the ones in early 2.0 because I had to re-upload them later on because I had deleted literally all my levels, and I actually do have a Lost Impossible level called Silent Factory I have never gotten back. But pretty much since my name was changed to Kitty of Chaos,
Silent
Full
Factory's
noodle.
gone forever. I didn't even know that.
Wait, if Chaotic was in your account, why couldn't you have just like changed your password or something?
Listen, I don't. This is like really long ago. It was a blur. All I know is rather I was being completely stupid, which is a huge possibility, or there was something that I couldn't like make that happen. I don't
Okay.
necessarily remember. But actually, yes, I think I do remember. At the time, I think my account used my mom's email, which had been deactivated. I
Oh.
wasn't able to like do anything with that, which I don't know how, but I magically. Oh yeah, I do know how. It was so dumb, but I managed to change my account password without like RobTop or anything. It was really weird. But
Okay.
pretty much what happened was I ended up re-uploading all my levels, and I was like, okay, well I want the Ice Cave name back, right? So I go, someone sniped it immediately. I'm like, okay, who the fuck stole my name? So I look at my name, and this dude is literally a random guy who just took my name and started making like he took my anything I made would like make the name slightly different and make it like a really bad impossible level. For example, I made Slaughterhouse. He made Hell Slaughter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Right? Like
Yeah,
anything I made
7 Hell
like
Slaughter.
6 of them, and they were terrible. In fact, when I had no YouTube channel, right? People legitimately thought that
My
guy.
favorite was Falling Hell, though.
Oh, there was like 7 of them too. Like oh, Falling Hell 8 coming out.
Slaughter.
The second one, though, Falling Hell 2 was the
Oh,
best one because
backwards
you go
wave. Yeah, he
backwards.
make
You
wave
have to go
parts that go
backwards to beat
backwards.
it.
That make no sense. But pretty much, this guy stole my name, and it actually got to the point since I didn't have a YouTube channel, people thought that I was him, that he was my second account or something, and I had to take the name Icedcave, but the I wasn't a 1. Well, no, yeah, the I was a 1. So it was basically 1 the CED, I can't spell, cave, right? And people were not able to really find that account because it didn't even start with I. So I eventually was like, okay, I gotta change this, but I don't know what to change this to. So I'm like, okay, Iced Cave, and then what? I was considering adding Iced Cave SE, something like that. So I'm just like, oh, I'll just add Iced Cave OG. And that's how that name spawned. Was literally
is-
because I got my account. Well, I got my name stolen, and I couldn't do anything about it.
So this is the guy. Okay, let me explain this a little bit.
Is
This
this
is the
Falling
guy.
Hell by I Am Gone and Real Who
No. Let me
Yeah.
show you. Let me show you. This is the guy who thinks that like levels with any wave space are possible. So he makes this in wave and is like, well, it's really tight, so it's
Yeah.
hard.
That's
And then,
literally his
You
level.
might be thinking, okay, that makes some sense. and then you realize he builds this. Where is it? This.
Centipede.
And you're like, what? What was that?
Super firewall.
Is it Falling Health by I Am Gone and Real Hoodoo?
Yeah, his name is I Am Gone
this.
Now.
Right here.
Dude, look at this. Just look at this level. Like,
No, it gets so much worse. Like, this is what you have to do.
well,
Do you see this?
Yeah, I do. Just,
Look how far it goes up.
You think you can do this?
Yeah, no.
Wait.
Okay, like
Wait,
this is
isn't
why
it-
I was kind of upset when people thought I was this guy. Especially
Yeah.
when I remember this one thing, and I swear if this guy's still around and hears this, just know you changed my life. This dude in Twitch chat, random Twitch chat. You know what he said to me one day? Dude was like, "Oh, is that Icedcave? Like, oh, that guy sucks." I'm like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "Okay, like, what did I do that was so terrible?" And he linked a video by that guy, the Icecave's plural dude, the guy who stole my name, who took
Yeah, he
Cimmerian
sucks,
Shade,
though.
super buffed it, and uploaded it, and it got like 50k views. He's like, "Oh, like you're just a level stealer, dude." And he was so convinced that I was him. And from that day forth, I'm like, I'm on a mission to make sure that nobody on Earth thinks that I'm this dude. And I started spamming him like, "Yo, you change your name now." Like I pulled the whole LTG like low tier god like now, like you are doing this. And I somehow convinced him. And he changed the name from Icedcave to Iced Caves with an S, which is where the plural thing comes from. So his name was Iced Caves, which he had for so long. So you may be thinking, well, okay, he changed his name. Why didn't you take your name back? I tried, and guess what happened? Username is already in use. I'm like, what? Look up Iced Cave, and it's a green user with the name Ice Cave. So I'm like, okay, well, that makes absolutely no sense. That's not a registered account. And it wouldn't fix. And I asked him, like, yo, what the fuck? What'd you do with the name? It's not working anymore. He's like, I don't know. And I ended up finding out years later through a lot of testing that there's a bug where you can basically reserve a name without ever making the account by
Yeah.
simply making it, registering it, and then never accepting the email confirmation. If you never accept the email, then it will just forever stay a green name that nobody else can have. And that's unfortunately
Oh.
happened with my name. So that's why I was Ice Cave OG for so long. And eventually, that dude, he said he was quitting, so he changed his name to I Am Gone, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. I stole the name Iced Caves from him, so he couldn't have it back. So he asked me like, yo, can I have the Iced Caves name back? And I literally just replied with like 3 dots. I was like, no,
I'm
this is
watching Falling Hell fix. and
Oh, look
is
at this.
just
This is
something.
how much this guy sucks. Look
you
at this
really
message
you hate
in
him more
bubble.
than me.
I'm just
Sorry
watching
for
this
long.
video and it's just kind of
Sorry
funny.
for-
This little
This
wave
has
is
been
just
going on
going
for
through
way too
everything
long.
for 3 minutes.
I've literally had it open and it's still not over.
It's just going.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah, I'm
going.
still watching the video.
It never ends.
Oh, and this was also during the time where I was like going away from impossible levels, so this shit pissed me off so
I'm
much.
honestly
for the
kind of
damage.
glad it exists because honestly, who makes this anymore?
Yeah, it's funny now, but dude, back then I was
Cancer
very
back
upset.
then.
I was very upset. But
It's-
thankfully, but you know what's actually kind of weird to think of now?
Yeah.
I kind of sort of feel bad for being addicted to this guy because what happened was I ended up getting his Discord somehow. And I was just curious to talk to him after all these years. Like, I didn't give a shit about the Ice Cave name. I was never giving it back. And this guy stopped playing the game. So I just decided to message him. And obviously, he was foreign. He wasn't English. But he definitely, I don't want to be, like, mean or anything. But, man, when I talk to him, I'm like, I am, like, 99.9% sure that he is not, like, all there to say. Which made
Okay.
me feel really terrible for being, like, mean when I was. So it kind of was like this weird end of the story where I actually talked to him. Me and him just had a nice conversation and just talked about like our personal lives a little bit. And we were just cool. And that's the last time I ever talked to him. So somehow this huge villain arc of Iced Caves plural sort of ended with
At least had a good ending.
the person behind that screen.
Uh,
All
That's-
I know is I keep watching this
first
dual
time.
wave and it sucks. to
That
death.
is-
Yeah, it's still going. I'm still watching the video. Oh, it's the
He
final
made
drum.
7 of these. There's like 7.
Well, did you see the little corridor where the dual waves are unsynced together and it just
Yeah.
says, "Are you ready to die?"
Oh, by the way, that whole, you know how to give an idea of how much this guy copied from me? That "Are you ready" text, by the way, that just pulses red. He literally stole the pulses from a joke level I made because he could not make anything by himself.
Like, just look at the
So-
dual wave at 228. Like, what is this?
Okay. Anyway,
Yeah.
so the
We have
question
to
that I
ask-
wanted to ask basically an hour ago was what do you think the skill ceiling is? Like the
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Well, that's a very interesting question. In my mind, right, I kind of feel like the game is gonna hit Silent Clubstep, and then nothing's really gonna Silent Clubstep or AOD, right? One of those two, whichever's harder. Because I know some people like to say that AOD is harder, so whatever. But those levels, I sort of feel like is the skill limit. But man, do people just push this game further and further? But I do feel like there's a reason why, for example, in like I don't know, earlier 2.1 levels like this didn't exist, and what we didn't progress as fast is because we were really held back by computer stuff and FPS. But nowadays with FPS just being like free, you can go to 360, and people's computers being godly and technology, just like even like your mouse being so much better and more responsive, has made people be able to just be completely insane at this game. But now that the whole limitations are gone, like there's no other like things to really ease up on. Now it's just really not technological limits anymore. It's just a human limit. And that's pretty much it. So I don't know how far that can go, but I am very interested in seeing where this game goes. And I've considered making a video basically saying that GD is the hardest game like of all time, like objectively, which I
Prob-
believe it is. Just because
Probably.
like man, imagine trying to beat like literally every single extreme demon. Like
I
I
think
know
if Abyss of Darkness gets verified, yeah, you could probably make that statement. I think that would.
yeah.
But
Because
that would be a first.
to be
statement
fair,
then.
dude, that would the what's it called? It basically is discounting like competitive play in games like for example, I don't know, like Melee or CS:GO or
Yeah.
stuff like that. I'm talking like just objectively like
Right.
play the
Single
game.
player,
GD
yeah,
is
yeah.
Yeah. Right.
woohoo. It is
But
something else.
I'm actually surprised of that answer because that's like lower than I thought. Like
Oh
honestly
yeah.
I don't think AOD or like the current Silent Club Step update is anywhere near the human skill limit. Honestly,
I meant
think-
under Silent Club
I
stuff is
think
like
Abyss of
the peak.
Oh, I think
I-
Abyss of Darkness will actually just kind of be our hardest thing for a while. I think it
Pro-
will be
yeah, I
top.
think-
I think it will be the new hardest thing, and it will sit there for a bit.
I
Yeah.
agree with that, but I
Yeah,
think
I agree
the
with that.
game is gonna get pushed a lot for like I think what the actual human potential is like insane. Obviously, it's not ever gonna get there because the game's gonna die eventually. But I think the like what we're gonna reach is actually gonna be still significantly harder than where we are now.
You think
Like,
this might be studied by scientists?
maybe?
Get the other Cinci to do quantum physics on this. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
The British
but
Cincy that's.
I
I don't even
think-
know why we're calling him British Cincy. He's nothing like me.
No, he's
Like,
your
it's
cousin
not even
now.
close.
You guys are related.
He's like you if you were British.
Be mad about it.
There's this big
We're
difference between you
related.
and
We
me.
just have different parents and cousins and.
Yeah.
Heard of adoption by chance?
Yeah.
It's a very real thing. No, Unnerf Silent Club Step for me is I think if Unnerf Silent Club Step got verified, I would be completely happy with that. Like the game dying literally after that, I would be completely fine with that.
Honestly,
I think
that
that's
would be a crazy like ending.
That would be
Yeah.
so.
Silent
crazy.
I
Club
want this
Step
game
is-
to at least have a good ending. That's all I want.
So-
Is and also I don't think this game like is gonna die mainly because and this is gonna be very weird to say. I think for some, especially since I've been playing the game for 7 years. I don't know how long you guys have been playing, but to the casual viewer, maybe this is gonna sound crazy, but I think GD as a game is just sort of timeless, even without updates. Because really,
Yeah.
as a community, we have shown, like for example, look at early 2.1 versus now. It's like two different universes, yet the same
Yeah.
update. Like the people that make GD what it is the creators, us. We make this game what it is. It's like
any
sort of like how Gary's mod is nothing other than a sandbox game. Yet people do so much shit
any
with it.
game that has an editor that lets you do stuff as intricate as like GD or like just be as like custom as you want to be in a lot of ways
Will last.
will last a long time. Like
As long
What
as you
you're
are passionate
saying-
about it.
What you're
Which I mean,
saying
we are
is
definitely
GD
passionate
is the friends we made along the way.
like for example, like Mario World ROM hacks are alive because they have an editor they can just kind of build. Anything that you can build with that makes other people play it that has a community kind of sticks around for a while.
Yeah, and especially since GD is so it's competitive in nature and very like it's so unbelievably simple as a game. You just click and release. Yet we've pushed it like this game to its limits. Like
Probably
really,
the hardest
really
game
far.
that you can play that has one input.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
Well,
like I don't know if it'll be topped. That's really hard.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I attribute that to why GD is so successful is because it is unbelievably simple, but not too simple. Like for example, this might be controversial to some. I think Osu's way too simple to be interesting. GD is just it's simple as hell, but man, can you do whatever you want with it?
I think they're very different games.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
I get Icecave's opinion though. I think Icecave has a
But
valid.
I think if you're not into Osu, probably GD's probably much more interesting to watch because Osu kind of starts looking samey.
Yeah. Click those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woohoo.
So I think playing it is a way different experience, but definitely just casually, GD's a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
So I remember like 3 years ago, people were saying, "Oh, the community is starting to die" or whatever, and
That's fine.
They've been saying that for
Yeah.
since
Yeah.
2.0.
and yeah, but then and now it's like as big as it's ever been. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think like obviously probably when it does quote unquote die, that'll be when RobTop closes the servers. But even then, I still think there'll be like
There'll be
Yeah,
custom
probably
servers.
private
There will
Yeah,
be custom servers.
Oh
private
yeah.
servers. Yeah, there'll be some friend of the
RobTop has
community.
never been the most reliable in terms
I think
of
at
even
least.
like really far into the future, there are probably going to be like this really niche group of people that maybe still play the game or talk about it or whatever.
I think GD will last a very, very long time.
Oh yeah, especially like okay, 2.2 as much as like I'm going to say this and this is I don't know. I've heard a lot of people that have played for as long as I have sort of share this opinion. But 2.2 as an update for me is overwhelming with the amount
I
of
agree.
content.
We
Actually,
talked about this. We
I
talked
don't
about
think
yeah.
I don't like it.
taking a break
Yeah.
from the game.
I would be happy if 2.1 was the last update and the game never got updated again.
Yeah.
I think
I thought that for a
2.2
very long time.
If you just made Geometry Dash 2 2.2, I wouldn't mind that.
I think
Here's the
2.2 is like I think my issue with it is like GD has always had one consistent thing about it. You're going from one direction, either way you're just going the same direction, like left to right,
Actually, what I
or
do
if you're
is-
mirror portaling right to left, there's nothing more to it, right? Where now you're now having just a bunch of you're turning around here randomly, you're doing like it's just gonna be too much. I think it's
The other thing that I always
it's gonna
found
lose
consistent
what makes
about
GD GD.
was that there was no RNG in it, and everything was fully based on inputs. That was another thing that I found about GD in particular.
Oh yeah. Well, here's one thing that I would like to say because as someone who when 2.1 came out was extremely overwhelmed and I did take a couple months break just because it was a lot to handle. And 2.2 I wouldn't be surprised if I disappeared for a year for the game. But here's why I used to have the mindset of when 2.2 comes out I'm going to quit and I wish the update doesn't come out, right? But now I've sort of come to terms with GD is like already been going on for a very long time and the 2.1 update has lasted extremely long and could continue to last for even more years than it already has. But despite 2.2 being very far out there in concept and especially in, well, the amount of content there is, thing is, right? If 2.2 comes out, I believe that there will be literally zero need for another update in the game ever. Like, you'll have everything that you can ever ask for, especially with, even though Rob's adding more, which I don't know why, 2.2 will really be the update. Like, he could just call it, yeah, this is the last update of GD, and I'll
Well,
be
what
happy.
about optimization?
I think yeah, I was about to say that. I think that I think if the game's mechanics actually stopped here, like maybe add swing copter, sure, like small things like this. But I think for the most part, if the game kind of stopped here and the rest of the updates were just quality of life things slash, like,
Yeah,
you
no,
know,
I
I think that would be great.
fixes,
I think that would be
optimization,
perfect. I don't know if we need this big crazy new.
Oh, yeah, no,
I think
exactly.
we need bug fixes more than anything, honestly.
Well, that's what I
Oh,
meant.
yeah.
Quality of life, bug fixes,
Bug
you name
fixes,
it.
optimization, that's
Optimization. All of
Optimization,
it.
yeah, optimization. There was a long time where I'm
maybe
like,
new blocks,
if 2.2
like
is a
editor
bug fix,
blocks.
I'll be
I'd
happy.
like that.
Yeah, nothing crazy. I think the game's core functions right now is probably perfect for what it is, and I'm a little concerned with 2.2 having such a big change. Maybe it's too much.
You know how like 2.0 came out and the move trigger was like everything was a boss fight. Everything had to move. Everything had to use the new effects. Then
Sweet
2.1
dude.
is like everything shakes. Everything shakes. You want an earthquake, you got one. But
To be fair,
2.2
there actually
is
weren't
going
a
to be
lot
like
of
that
boss fights
for.
coming in 2.0 came out.
Oh yeah. But I feel like 2.2 is going to be like we had our niches with 2.0 and 2.1. 2.2 is going to be like everything that's added is going
It's
to be
abused.
used to death and be
Yeah.
obnoxious for the first year or two.
Yeah.
Well,
And then
part
it's
of
gonna
I actually
have a
so
problem.
some of that actually, I can explain some of that probably. Nowadays, I feel like the mod team's a lot more involved than it was back when those were first released. And I think, like, this is personal, just like thinking this isn't confirmed. I think RobTop was purposely rating and promoting levels that were using new features, which which made it just kind of, and it didn't matter if they used it well. It did not matter if it was used. It kind of got rated. So what happened is we got hit with really bad uses of new things.
Oh, look up boss fight, like just boss fight rated levels. You'll find star rated levels that are literally made by a toddler who simply just put the monster, a move trigger, and random things that show up, and it's rated. Because that's what Rob does. And I'm not gonna lie, that's what I planned for 2.1. I'm like, whatever Rob's adds, I'm gonna spam it in a level, and I'm gonna get my first creator point. And you could probably do that for 2.2 as well.
Line apocalypse.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Oh, we do not speak of line apocalypse ever. I beat that, and I regret it.
I'm hoping that there's some quality control. I really hope there is. Please.
I'm glad that the mod team is much more involved. I'll be honest. Although, like, okay, listen, the mod team, controversial because it's the mod team, but I genuinely do think I much rather have anyone else. I don't care how controversial they are in the mod team or whatever. I much rather them than Rob, because Rob is way too inconsistent, and simply, like, I don't blame him because the dude's like a father. He doesn't really care. And I much rather that than people that are actually passionate about the game, because they will actually care. And even if their opinions might be a bit wacky, I much rather that than Rob. And listen, I will say, people give Rob way too much shit for someone who can literally wake up tomorrow and just decide, I don't feel like it anymore. And just stop rating levels and stop doing anything with the game, because he doesn't have to do it. The dude's a millionaire. He doesn't need any more money or for this game to be alive anymore. Which is why I'm thankful that he does literally anything with this game. Regardless of how long it takes, like, I'm just happy he's here.
I think some of it may also be they don't like some of the decisions that he makes. I think
for sure.
And I think that is a lot. Like, sure, you can take a long time for an update, but when it's been hyped up, when it's been hyped up that as if it's going to come out a lot earlier than it did, that's kind of on you to get the hate in a way.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that I remember being upset at, I'm not sure if Rob had any involvement with this, but I remember when the 2.1 awards came out, I'm like, okay, well, this obviously means 2.2 is going to come out. And then that just, because the 2.1 awards, the update, you know what I mean? And there was a whole ARG, and the whole ARG and everything, and it led to fucking nothing. And I was so disappointed.
I think that they probably were like, oh, it's got to come out soon, right? And then they were just like, oh, I guess not. So
Rob messaged Viper. Like, Viper message Rob, or Rob message Viper, whatever, like, hey, yo, like, the update's coming out, right? And it's like, yeah. It's like, oh, I'll make the awards for the 2.1 thing. And Rob's like, yeah, all good. And then they make the awards, and Rob's like, yeah, about that. So I've been thinking about adding 50 new features. And it's going to take me, like 3 more years.
I honestly think that yearly awards is better than update awards.
Oh, for sure.
So
Yeah.
I think it's a good needed switch anyways. So...
Yeah. Anyway,
We need to end.
we need to. We've been talking about 2.
Honestly, I think this was a really entertaining one. So
I like this one, but anyway, so the way we usually end is, or like the last question we usually ask is, what the last guest asked, and then
that's interesting.
Yeah, and then at the end you will like ask your own question for the next guest. So
all right,
last guest was Hyperbola, and his question was a bit weird. It was, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
Oh, fuck. I know there's an actual answer to this.
Yeah. He mentioned that. He said it was like a study.
Can I give... I'm not going to look it up, okay? But
yeah,
let me give a wild guess. I think 1,206. Exactly.
1,206. Okay. Well,
funny how that actually was probably super searched up because of some dumb commercial.
It definitely was.
Like some owl was just licking it 3 times and bit the whole thing, and then there were some people like, no, we gotta find this answer.
Some dude was really bored, alright?
I feel like your tongue would start like bleeding after licking that many times.
500 times you lose count, you're like, ugh. Time to get another one.
Was
I right? Was I wrong?
Like, what kind of licks? Like, have we decided? Like, are they big licks or like tiny ones?
How do you measure? What is the measurement?
Can you do like a really slow one so that
you can't get it answered?
Is more saliva like make it go quicker or slower? Like, we gotta figure this out.
How many licks does it take? I'm literally looking up. to get to the center of a dude, it's literally the most like I just did how many licks does it take, and the first result was that.
Well, yeah.
3.
Yeah, what else would it?
Bro, the Google literally has the answer for it. 364. I was so off.
Is it 364?
On
I feel like I
average.
could test that.
It really just.
Oh,
it's
no,
like-
he's
it
going down the
depends on
rabbit
how
hole.
many licks you actually like how big your licks.
Like, I feel like 364 is not that many. You could probably
Oh,
do that in
wait,
like 30
wait.
minutes.
All right,
Yeah.
I think I have my question for the
Okay.
next.
Yeah. What is it?
The question should be, can you / will you play Falling Hell Fix by I Am Gone and Real Hutu Eel?
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry for whoever's next. That's my apology. I'm sorry.
And well, there's actually probably an easy answer. No.
Yeah.
Hey man, the curiosity might get them. Okay, they're gonna hear Falling Hell Fix, so they won't know what hit them.
Well, yeah, and then they look at the video or look at the first 2 seconds, realize it's 3
Hey,
minutes.
hey,
Like,
whoa! We could put the blindfold on that first, okay? You don't have to be
you
giving
actually
them
know
all the info.
within like the first like. I want to do this frame by frame to figure out when it becomes visible, because the second it's visible is all you need.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my god.
It becomes
Yeah.
visible in under a second.
like,
Listen, I'm
like,
super
like,
content with my question.
like, look
But
at
I
this.
see it.
Like, you don't. The second you can see, it's already. It's already beyond impossible.
I don't know. Space UK clear in 4 attempts. So, yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, sure.
Anyway. Yeah. So I think that's it.
All right. Well, thanks for being on Icecave. It was fun.
It was fun. It's been a pleasure. Thank you guys for having me.
Remember to subscribe to Icecave and unsubscribe to Synactive. See ya.